It's the end of my first day of my first job out of college, and I'm in the North Carolina woods, crawling on top of a tarp, prepared to restrain a lanky teenage girl for the night. I've just gotten hired as a wilderness therapy instructor, and I'm leading about 15 students along with one other instructor. Our supervisor has just directed us to spend the whole night sandwiching this little girl underneath a tarp in what is called a pancake to make sure she doesn't run away. I've long had a romance with the idea of wilderness therapy, a therapeutic model designed to take troubled teens into outdoor immersion, to empower and transform them with the idea that nature can heal. For me, it feels like an adventure, an opportunity to learn new skills, and after just graduating as an English major, having no idea what I'm going to do with my life, I think maybe I could be a therapist. So when I find a program willing to hire me with zero wilderness experience, after a mere 3-day training, I'm thrilled. But from day one of my job, I can't help but question, is this program doing it the right way? I look at the 15-year-old girl beside me. If she were a few years older, she would be just another hippie girl I would have been friends with in college. She doesn't seem like a menace to me. But as instructors, we're required to follow many rules. We get paid minimum wage and are not required to have any mental health training. But within the first day of knowing each student, we have to classify them according to a list of personality problems. People pleaser, question asker, manipulator, whatever you see, name it. Meanwhile, the licensed therapist comes on site only once a week and meets with each student for an hour. Also, as an instructor, I have to take away all students' watches, never let them know what time it is, reprimand them if they don't learn the first wilderness skill, making a fire with sticks and a rock, something I'm never able to do myself. I have to demand that they go to the bathroom in a big bucket, and then I collect the trash bags and carry them around a week at a time, getting maggots all over my backpack. But these are the rules. I feel this sense of connection with the students, who I see as just slightly younger, more rebellious versions of myself. So, after the first week, when the therapist does come on site, I ask her, in front of all of the students, why do some of these girls even have to be here? I don't realize that I'm speaking out of turn, but perhaps if I were a bit older, I would. But I learn immediately. The therapist bans me from leading any more girl groups, saying I've gotten too close to the girls. So then I'm placed with the guys. But as a 21-year-old girl, now I'm connecting in another way. And my first student, who I feel like I'm really getting through to, is this super smart 18-year-old guy who I definitely would have been friends with in school. And he's confiding in me, feel like I'm having success. But at the end of that week, the male therapist comes on site and says, I can't talk to him anymore because the student is treating me like his girlfriend. I don't hit it off with all of the students. One of them spits in my face and curses me out. And then, when I'm off shift, I learn that he's gathered a group of male and female students to run off, have group sex, and then he keeps running, making it all the way to Tennessee, where he goes to a Burger King to ask for food and is picked up by a cop. The students largely don't want to be there. Most of them have arrived because bouncer-like men pulled them out of their beds in the middle of the night, stuffed them into a van, did not tell them where they were going, and then brought them to this program in North Carolina. So for the whole summer, I feel torn. I feel suffocated by the rules, the dogma, like the students, but I also find myself more and more comfortable in the woods. I'm just with the trees and the birds, away from the chatter of my day-to-day life. So at the end of the summer, when I'm not sure what job I'll do next, I ask my boss if I can stay on for the year. She immediately says they have no need for me and that this has just been my last shift. This is the first time in my life that I've had nothing set out before me. Not middle school, not high school, not college, not a job, nothing. It feels daunting. But that day, at least, I know exactly what I want to do. So I drive by the outdoor store, pick up some protein bars and iodine tablets, and I drive straight to the Appalachian Trail. I spend the next 3 days and 2 nights alone out there, not seeing another human soul, hiking, camping, showing myself that I can be in nature alone now, with this immense sense of freedom, only miles from the students who remain so confined in these same woods. And I feel for the students, but I also feel really grateful that I'm where I am. And as I walk on that trail, I realize for the first time in my life, the path of my life is wide open, and there's no one I have to cooperate with but myself.